Oh my god.
After that, we decided to finally break ground on a new experiment.
Is there anything we should know about this concert hall?
Safe here.
Oh my god, that is weird.
I can't hear anything that they're saying.
Scary.
Dude, we had a whole conversation that day.
We found some amazing stuff. On February 12th, Connor and I went up to the Stanley Hotel in order to follow up on the spirit box experiment that has been going so well for the weeks preceding it.
So our friend Steve came up with us. He's an investigator who's been working in the Denver area and with me for a number of years now. Very tech-minded guy, and he has some great ideas and some great new gadgets that we can use as well. That night, he brought up a new laser tripwire system he designed, as well as a battery tester that we decided to try out.
So, battery drain has been an issue on investigations. I've seen a lot of cameras that like dying. You know, they'll die right when you just replace the battery.
Yeah, right in this hallway just a couple of weeks ago, like total weird battery drain to the point that it shot the battery. Like the battery wouldn't even charge after that. It was a very extreme case.
For a couple days, I mean, the battery was out.
Yeah.
It fried it.
Yeah.
That. It's never done this before. I don't know what that is. That's not what happens when the battery dies.
So we just had 3 doors either close or open that never close or open.
And this camera is...
And your camera's going all wacky.
This right now.
Dude, same.
And you know cameras, dude. That's like your life.
Yeah, that's the camera that we've had forever.
So right now you can see we got some older batteries in here, and so these 4 batteries are holding at just over 4 volts. And what we're looking for is we're looking for a drastic drop, preferably all the way down to 0, and then maybe even on command, and then see if it bounces back, see what happens.
Great. Cool. What else you got?
Okay, another thing we got, which is brand new, is, and it ain't pretty yet, but it's there. This is basically just a laser. So we got a red laser pointer, and also a blue/black light one. Then down at the other end of the hall we have the receiver. And the receiver has a photoresistor on it. So basically what happens is this light hits that photoresistor and it completes the circuit so that there's no buzzer going off and there's no indication that anything's wrong. When this beam is broken, that photoresistor will register that. The device will actually make an audible noise, plus it turns on a light to notify you that basically the tripwire has
So
been
when the
tripped.
light stops hitting that receiver, it
Exactly.
makes a sound. So if anything breaks that,
Anything breaks the beam, then we will hear it.
basically are gonna set it up right here, shooting diagonally down this entire hallway
Yep.
in hopes that if something's walking at all, straight through there, it's gonna
Yep.
set off the receiver.
That's it.
So then, even as simple as us walking down this hallway right now, if we break the beam, we're gonna know about it. So it's also a nice little point here where we can know if somebody's coming down the hallway this door.
Exactly.
Moves these room. It's our security.
No one's gonna. That's what the tripwire's for.
Yep.
So Steve, being the very tech-minded investigator that he is, really wanted to see this spirit box experiment. I could tell that he was pretty skeptical of it, but as we continued going on with it, even he was pretty impressed.
One of the things that we wanted to test was to see how far a spirit could throw their answers if they were physically, if that's the case, in one location, and we had a receiver on the spirit box in a different location. And we're going to start in this room together to establish whether there's actually a spirit here trying to communicate with us at all, whether we're getting consistent responses in the first 10 or 15 minutes of talking. And then we're going to test a remote session. So we're going to have Connor go to the opposite end and corner of the building, up in the balcony. And what we're going to do is we're going to monitor his responses through a baby monitor. So it's one way he cannot hear us, but we can hear everything that he says. And he's just going to say anything that he hears through the spirit box there in the balcony. We hear the responses. We continue asking questions down here to test that if a spirit stays in this room with us, whether they can throw their responses the whole way to the balcony, or whether or not the spirit follows Connor to the balcony, giving him direct responses, but can still hear our questions down here. And we can begin to test the physical locality of a spirit.
Let's try it out.
Here we go.
Do you want me we sit here?
Yeah, I think that's a good spot.
REM pod. It's funny, the station that happened right when I turned it on, it was like a radio DJ, like a sports thing. He's like, we got the whole crew here. So, maybe the whole crew is here. We're here.
We're here. Hey, Connor. Connor.
What?
That's
the
awesome.
second time it's happened. That exact same thing happened like 2 weeks ago when we were down here in the hallway doing it. The exact same response.
That's awesome.
Hey, Connor, question real quick.
What?
Was that you?
Just said what?
That's awesome.
Video, ha, ha.
We got that on video. That's right.
We did. Oh, well, it sounds like somebody's here with us right now. Is that the case? Please tell us your name.
Ed's here.
Hey, Eddie.
How you doing?
It's dirty. His feet.
Are our feet dirty? That's me.
Is that what I smelled? Eddie, can you see the laser beam out in the hallway?
Good. Just one time. Tonight.
One time what? What will you do just one time tonight?
Somebody's looking at you. Problems.
Who's looking at us right now?
On your back hole.
I was just
Check
gonna ask where
your
they're
arm.
looking at us.
Check your arm.
What about our arms?
And back. Now.
I have a tattoo on my arm and my back.
Come on.
Sorry, I'm just guessing.
4 cheese. Next week.
Like the photography thing? Are you saying that you'd pose for a photo for me
Assholes.
next week?
Okay.
Hey, Eddie.
Sorry, Eddie.
Ass.
This sounds like you. Are you saying that you'll say
Eddie.
cheese, you'll pose for a photo next week,
Dang.
but just once?
Sounds me.
Next week.
Next week you'll post for a photo?
Coming through.
Yep.
We are forming as loud as we can.
That's awesome. Thank you for trying. We know it's probably difficult for you to come through like this.
Yep.
Awesome.
Is there
Strap.
anything we can do to make it easier for you in the future doing this if it's difficult?
Hurry.
Okay.
Do it.
What we want to do tonight is we want to have Connor
Carpool up.
go to the balcony. And we would like to ask you questions in this room.
80s.
Will you be able to send your
Up.
answers to the balcony from this room if we split up and you stay here?
No.
If you went with Connor, would you be able to hear our questions from the balcony that we're
Look
asking
every
down
time.
here?
Steve.
I like you tonight.
I know. Thank you, Eddie. I like you too.
Real smart.
Thank you. I hope that's a compliment. Do you like my gadgets?
Or can you say nerd for
440.
Connor?
I need you.
What is 440?
Yeah.
Steve.
I don't know what 440 is.
I told him.
Eddie, are you setting off the laser?